let's begin installing the software. And the software we need for this class is Anaconda. Alright, there are a few benefits for installing Anaconda because it includes Python, and it also has Jupyter notebook inside it, and it also has Spider. It's also a IDE, in integrated development environment, and a lot of various other packages already included in Anaconda distribution. For instance, you don't need to install pandas, you don't need to install NumPy. For instance, you don't need to install Matplotlib. Similarly, you don't need to install Seaborn. So these are packages already installed in Anaconda distributions. And in this course, we're going to use Jupyter Notebook, but you can also use Google Colab. Google Colab is alternative to Jupyter Notebook. It has same kind of functionality, but sometimes we need to install libraries there. And for installing Anaconda distribution, you simply need to type in Google Anaconda distribution, right? This one, and click on the first link. And you can also do the registration, but registration is not required. You can also skip the registration, and based on your operating system, it has graphical interface to install it. And for Mac operating system, so I have M4. Maybe there's a slightly different version must be written here if you have M3, M2, or maybe older versions of Mac. But for Windows operating, it's simple and pretty straightforward. It's a 64-bit operating graphical installer. So let's see how it works. So there's also some command line instructions to install, but that will make it will be complicated to install. Just click on the first link. That's the file we need to download, and just need to follow the steps to install it. So that would be, yes, it's 879 megabytes. So it takes a little time to download, and then you have to install it. So the instruction is already on the canvas. So once you download this file, you need to follow some steps. Okay, so right now we were here, so we just downloaded it. And for Windows installation, you just need to click next, and then you need to agree on during installation. You can also install, I think the best practice for students is just to select just for me, right? Because there is also an option that anybody can use Anaconda distribution. So you can select just me, or anybody can use Anaconda distribution on your PC. It's your choice, but I recommend you to select just me. All right, and then click installs. There's some Windows guides, and we will see how we can verify the installation. And then we have a Mac installation guide, and then we also have a Linux. For instance, if you have Ubuntu operating system, you can also install Anaconda distribution there. I already have downloaded the Anaconda distribution, and I already have installed the Anaconda distribution. How can I open Jupyter Notebook, and how to install, how to open, or maybe a Spider? We going to use Jupyter Notebook for this class, so you just need to go to in your search bar and type Anaconda, and that's Anaconda Navigator, right? In an Anaconda Navigator, then we will find Jupyter Notebook, and also Spidery, and few other softwares that is already installed in these distributions. And and the step is all similar for Windows operating system. You also need to go to your search. I think in Windows operating system, you need to go to Start and then search for Anaconda. You can also open Anaconda using prompts. I think that's the best and easiest way. Just go to search and search, type Anaconda, and you will find this icon. Click on this icon, and you will see there are a lot of software will be there. Let's see. All right, so we need to work in Jupyter notebooks. Okay, that's the one we need to launch. But you also have a Spider. Let's see both of them, and we see the not going to see the difference, but we can do Python development in Jupyter notebook, and as well as in Spider as well. And let's launch. Once you click on launch, it will automatically open a browser based Python development. Okay, it's a browser based. The default, it will automatically open your default browsers. Okay, and you will see this is how it looks. So right now you can also navigate to your folders where would you like to create your files. Let's go to the desktop, right? so you can move up down where you have your files. You can also access your OneDrive or maybe Google Drive, depends on you. So I'm going to move to my folder Pythons. That's the folder I'm going to write my first Python program. All right, so the similar like other languages, we're going to create our first program like print hello world, right? I assume that you already familiar with C++ language. We use C out there, but that's their syntax, but we're going to focus on Python. I need to create a new Python file. All right, so but before I start creating a new file, but first let me also give you some idea how we can also launch Spider. Spider is also an IDE similar to like Visual Studio Code, that you might be familiar with that one also. That's a Spider. Okay, you can also write code in Spider, and by default the temporary file will be temp.py. .py is an extension for Python files, and now I'm going to create a new file because that's a temporary file that was already there. So I'm going to create a new file, and let's begin our first program, that is print. Okay, so in Python we use print. Okay, print to display output on the screen. That will be in, let's say, double quotes, hello world. Okay, that's our first program, and that's print is a function, and we have opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis, and hello world is a string enclosed in double quotes. We don't need semicolon here. Python is very friendly language compared to C++, where you also need data types and all of other stuff, and in Python you don't need semicolon, right? That's the syntax. If I run this one, you will see it prints the output on the right side. You don't need to install compiler and this kind of stuff, because Python is interpretable language. Okay, and you see the output. So that's just a very small overview of Spider, but we're not going to use Spider in this class. We mainly focus on Jupyter Notebook. But that's why I just giving you some uh, some some way of also working in Spider, in case if you like. It's not required. That's it. Okay, so the extension will be .py for Python files. Okay, but let's now move to Jupyter Notebooks. Jupyter Notebooks, we already have open Jupyter Notebooks. That will be it's IPY kernels. Okay, and that will be, again, we are going to create a notebook that would be Python, and we can name it. Okay, so that's the file that it automatically is. That will be untitled without any extension. You don't need any extension. It's IPYNB. That will be extension for this file. Let's say that's my going to be the, let's say, first program in Python. Okay, that IPY extension here, I'm going to rename this file. Okay, this is how you can rename the files, and these are the cells we have. We can write code inside these cells, and we execute code inside these cells, and you can see in an output in after we write the code, and you will see an output. I will show you an output in a few minutes. So that's the environment where we have to write the code. All right, and these are few stuff we will go through these navigations. Okay, once we start writing the code, but at this point let's write our first program, because the video focus at this point is to how to install the Anaconda distribution. We have the Anaconda distribution, we also have seen Spider, and we are now trying to run our first program in Jupyter Notebook. That would be the same program that the start of every language we have the same first program. That would be print. Print is used in Python to display an output, and there's single code. So Python is again a very flexible language, because if you recall, in C++, single quote is used for characters, but we use double quotes for strings, right? But in Python it's very flexible. You can even use single quotes for string, and that would be print. Oh, so now I need to print a message, hello world. And how can I run this cell? So it's a cell. Okay, how can I run this cell? There are two ways. One is to just, you see that's the icon, run this cell. Okay, that's the first way. Let's run this one. You will see an output here at the bottom, that is a hello world. But you can also run this cell. Let me write another very small program. We are just printing few stuff. and that's the program is, let's say, welcome to Python and data science. Okay, and another way is to shift and enter. Okay, that the command is shift. You have to press key shift and then enter. Okay, it also runs. Okay, that's now a syntax error because you are familiar with few stuff. We have three kind of errors we need to look at. First is the syntax error, the second is the runtime error, and the third one is semantic errors that we will see in a few minutes in the next chapter. And we have to remove this one. So how to run this one using short keys, that will be shift and enter. Okay, and you will see the output below this cell. Now let's see what else we have in the installation guide slides. So we have Python kernel. We just have seen Python kernel, and we are working in Python 3. There are few versions. I recall that when I started writing Python code, it was 2.7. I think now the current version is even, I think, 3.6. I think that's the last version I have seen. But the simple rule is there are few functions that are depreciated in the previous version, and they have more advanced stuff in the newer versions. All right, so we have, okay, so that's the shift enter. Hello print is used to print something on the screen, and we have seen these two outputs, and you can use run button, and you can also use shift and enter, okay, to run the cells. Okay, so these are variables. Variables are used to hold values. I'm going to explain in our next chapter about variables, data types, number, strings, because these stuff belongs there. Print, display outputs, yes, and what else? So these are few more. You just need to just copy paste and see that your cells are working. Okay, at this point, you just in the first chapter you just need to focus on that you have the Anaconda distribution installed and your cells are working. Cells are working means that you can execute your code. All right. And okay, so let's see the Python version. So that's the library, third party library that's I'm going to import. That could be import, okay, sys, and I'm going to see the Python version. Okay, so I'm already on Chrome, so that will be sys.versions. Okay, that will be going to use, that will be print sys dot, okay, that's the versions. It's a version or versions? Version. So we have 3.13. You see, I was saying that we have 3.6, so we have 3.13. All right, so that's the version we are right now working. What else we have in the first chapter? That's in the first chapter, that is about software installations. Opening Spider, we already have seen opening Spider. You can also work in Spider. And all right, so there's the same out one statement, one line of code that will print something on as an output. What else we have? Google Colab. Okay, so Google Colab is an alternative similar to Jupyter Notebook. You don't need to buy any subscription for that. It's free. Okay, that's, you just need to type Google Colab. All right, so that's Google Colab. But you need an account to log in and to start creating your notebooks. So this is how it's very similar to Jupyter Notebooks. All right, and you see we have untitled 5, and let's say we have now, that would be the first program. All right, and you see the play icon is already there instead of having a run. Okay, so we have run all, but to run this specific cell, there's a play icon is already there. So I'm going to write the first program, that is hello world. All right, and that's the play icon here, and you will see it will display hello world below it. Yes, it's still running. I am not sure why it's slow. Do I have the internet? Yes, I have the internet. Yes, So we have the hello world output is here. And I think that short key, that is shift enter, is also going to work here. Let's run this one. Yes, it also works here, right? What else we have in the first chapter? Okay, so these are few problems. Sometimes if you see few issues installing Anaconda distributions, I have also included some guides related to that one. Let me know if you face any issue, but the software installation is pretty simple and straightforward. You just need to go to Anaconda distribution, go to the download, and download the software. Once you have the software, you see that's the package we have for Mac operating system. If it is Windows operating system, the extension will be .exe. That would be an exe file, and you just need to click on that package and see what it's saying. The package run program to determine if the software can be installed. Okay, I okay, let's continue. Just to give you a few idea the how the installation will look like. I already have the installation, but let's continue a few more minutes. Let's see. License. Okay, it's saying the current installing software, you must agree the terms of the software license agreement. That's the one I think I was saying that you need to agree this one. And destination select install software for these computers. Yes, continue install. Okay, here I will stop because I already have the installation. I will not going to install it, but I think that would be the last step. You just need to click on this install link, and you will have the Anaconda distribution in your PC.